Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something that, honestly, every single Romanian business needs to get a handle on, GDPR. And let's forget about seeing it as just a legal headache. Think of it as the rule book for actually succeeding in today's digital world.
Let's kick things off with a question that really gets to the core of this whole thing. This isn't just about how to dodge a fine. It's about how you can take a legal requirement and turn it into a foundation for a stronger, more trustworthy business.
Okay, let's just put the big, scary number out there first. 20 million euros. That's the maximum possible fine under GDPR. It's a number designed to make one thing crystal clear. The stakes for getting this wrong are incredibly high. So, okay, that's a huge number. But what does it really mean for your business, right here in Romania? It's easy to look at that and think, that'll never happen to me. But the reality is much, much closer to home. Let's break down what's actually at stake. And this is where it gets real. You see the slide? It's super important. On one hand, you've got that massive global fine. But look at the right side. That's what's happening on the ground, in Romania. The national authority is actively enforcing these rules. Fines between 3,000 and 130,000 euros have already been handed out. For a small or medium-sized business, a number like that can be absolutely crippling. This is not a theoretical threat. It's happening right now.
And this is a point that so many businesses get wrong. It doesn't matter where your company is based. The quote says it all, really. If you're handling data from anybody in the EU, and that includes your Romanian customers, obviously, then GDPR applies to you. Full stop. You can't hide behind geography on this one.
Okay, so how do you actually stay on the right side of this? How do you avoid those fines? Well, it all boils down to understanding the core ideas that GDPR is built on. These aren't just random rules. Think of them as the foundation for handling data the right way.
And here they are, the big seven. Honestly, a lot of this is just common sense when you think about it. Be open and honest about what you're doing. Only grab the data you actually need for a specific reason. Don't just hoard it. Make sure it's correct. Don't keep it forever. And of course, keep it safe. But that last one, accountability, that's the kicker. It means you have to be able to prove you're doing all this stuff. And all of those principles really lead to this one big idea, privacy by design. And what that means is you can't just treat data protection like a patch you slap on at the end. It has to be baked into the very fabric of your business, right from the start. You've got to be proactive, not reactive. All right, so you get the principles. That's step one. But now we got to talk about who's responsible for what. GDPR is super clear about this, so there's no pointing fingers later. Okay, so for most of you watching, your business is what's called the data controller. You're the one in the driver's seat. You decide why you're collecting data and how it's going to be used. And that means, well, the buck stops with you. Now, any company you hire to help, like your web host or your email marketing service, they're the data processor. They're working for you, but you're still the one ultimately on the hook. Now, this is really important, especially if you're in Romania. There's a special local rule you need to know about. Normally, you only need a data protection officer, a DPO, for big-scale stuff. But, and this is a big but, under Romanian law, if your business processes the national ID number, the CNP, you have to appoint a DPO. That is a massive detail that's super easy to miss, but could get you in a lot of trouble. Okay, so we've covered the what and the who. Now for the big question. How do you actually do all of this stuff? I know it can feel like a mountain to climb, but it's totally manageable if you just break it down into steps. Let's walk through it. Look, everything, and I mean everything, has to start with a data audit. This is your ground zero. First, you've got to catalog all the personal data you have. Names, emails, IP addresses, everything. Then you map it out. Where does it come from? Where do you keep it? Who can see it? Third, check your legal basis. Do you even have a good reason, like consent or a contract, to have this data? And finally, you have to look at your security. Are your systems actually strong enough to protect it? And once you've done that audit, it should lead you straight to a simple project plan, just like this one. Don't let it be some vague idea. Assign tasks to actual people or teams and give them real deadlines. Things like finishing your data map, getting encryption in place, and checking your contracts with third parties, those should be right at the top of your list. And let's talk about your website for a sec, because for most businesses, that's your front door to the world. And there are some things that are just not negotiable anymore. Your site has to have HTTPS. That's the little lock icon that tells people it's secure. You need to be using multi-factor authentication, or MFA, to protect accounts.
And your privacy policy, it can't be a wall of legal jargon. It has to be clear, easy to find, and written in plain language that a normal human being can actually understand.
And last, but definitely not least, you have to plan for when things go wrong. Because they can. You need a rock-solid plan for a data breach. You have to know how you're going to spot it, stop it, and tell the authorities about it, all within 72 hours. And on the other side, you need a system for handling customer requests. People have a right to ask for their data or to have it deleted, and you've got to be able to do that for them within 30 days.
Okay, now, I want you to just pause for a second and shift how you're thinking about all this. I know it can sound like a huge pain, just another cost of doing business, but what if it's not? What if all this compliance stuff is actually a massive business opportunity hiding in plain sight?
Think about it. The businesses that really lean into this see incredible benefits. When you prove to your customers you respect their privacy, you earn their trust, and that's priceless. By getting your house in order now, you're massively reducing your risk of getting hit with those huge fines later. You can even use it in your marketing. Being the company that takes privacy seriously is a huge selling point. At the end of the day, having good data practices just makes your business fundamentally stronger.
And that really leaves us with one final crucial question you have to ask yourself. What GDPR does is it forces you to look at all the data you're sitting on. It's not just a gold mine anymore. It's a huge responsibility. So you have to be honest. Right now, is your data strategy a ticking time bomb, a liability just waiting to explode? Or are you turning it into your greatest asset for building a business that people trust and that's built to last?